Benz. You don't learn? You didn't learn from K Flock, DOA, and Sevside getting indicted? You didn't learn Benz from the YG indictments? Benz, an up-and-coming Bronx drill rapper, all right, who's out of the Fordham Road section of the Bronx, has been indicted. Her gang, the Slattery boys, all right, they've been involved in 20 shootings from June of 2020 to June of 2024, man. Out of those 20 shootings, 10 innocent people were shot, all right? The Slattery boys was hit with 170 count indictment with conspiracy, attempted murder charges, all kinds of shit. You know, some people compare Benz to 41 group member Jen Carter. All right, she comes from the whole K Flock, Sevside, DOA camp. You see, when K Flock and Dougie B and them was blowing up, she was on the benches. Benz was on the benches waiting for her turn. You know, Benz is only 18 years old. She was just released not too long ago. She spent time in Brookwood, all right? That's upstate New York, all right? That's a juvenile center for troubled youth, such as Benz. Now, Benz is not your typical girl from the Bronx. No, ladies and gentlemen. She considers herself a man, a man's man, all right? Now, a lot of people will arguably say that she saved drill rap. You know, after K Flock got indicted, D-Thing came home, he made a little noise, but his clout is starting to die down. You know, y'all heard that last song that D-Thing put out with Shy G's? That shit was trash. And, you know, everyone has a right. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. You know, D-Thing got upset because the fans is not feeling his music no more. I mean, his hardcore fans is always going to jack his music, man. But not the occasional drill rapper listener. They want the D-Thing before he went in, before he got indicted on that YG indictment. They want that old D-Thing. You understand what I'm saying? This D-Thing right here, he sounds too commercial. But Benz, right? She was on a rise to stardom, right? She's one of those drill rappers that can actually rap. But she was doing too much dissing the dads. And then she was actually going out there and living out her raps. Yeah, man, her gang was out there really living out their fucking raps, bro. They was shooting innocent people that ain't have nothing to do with it instead of going to the gun range. You know, a lot of these guys that's locked up on this SB indictment, a lot of these guys is under 25 years of age, man. And a lot of them is looking at 20 plus years in prison. They say that the streets of Fordham Road up in the Bronx, according to the district attorney, according to the Bronx district attorney, that area is a lot safer now. That the Slattery boys is locked up. They behind bars, man. And I'll be honest with you. Out of that gang, it's probably about only 1 or 2 tough niggas. The rest of them niggas is gonna tell, including Benz. I know a lot of Benz fans, y'all don't wanna hear this, you know? But she telling, she a female at the end of the day, man. And then they snatched up a they snatched up a pregnant female. You know, a lot of these kids, right, that's involved in these gang shootings, going back and forth with their opposition and shit like that. A lot of these kids, you gotta blame their parents, man, for the life that their children is living, man. Because the parenting and the teaching it starts at home. A lot of these kids, they come from broken homes. Their mother is on drugs. Their mother is on welfare, on public assistance. You know, their father is not around. So the streets raise them. And you know, the judge, the district attorney and the judge, they don't come from where we come from. You understand what I'm saying? They don't know what it's like to stand on that welfare line. You understand what I'm saying? They don't know what that shit is like, bro. So when you step into their courtroom, they ready to throw the book at you. Y'all already see, like, Nate Benz is stupid. Like, your big homie, Sticky the Plug, he's locked up. He's doing 30 years in the feds. Got the nerve to talk about that's gonna be a life vacation. That's a life vacation. What's wrong with these young generation niggas? And Sticky the Plug, right? I was watching an interview with him he did 2 years ago with this West Coast blogger, and he was talking about how there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes when the cameras go off, and he was talking about how, you know, these young drill, like, he don't condone and, you know, these drill rappers dissing the deads and shit like that, and that they should get their money. You understand what I'm saying? But obviously, you they big homie, you was K-Flock's big homie as well, and you crashed out. You doing 30 years in the feds. Zay Mana is doing 14 years in the feds. I mean, K-Flock, you know, is fighting for his life. He's on trial fighting for his life. His trial ain't start yet, but he's fighting for his life. You know, he's been locked up for a few years now. And all you see K-Flock doing, instead of him being in that law library, he's sitting up there doing Instagram videos with the gang, pulling out razors, all type of stupid shit. You think the district attorney and them is not gonna bring this shit up in court? You fighting for your life, man. K-Flock, you can't feel sorry for them. I mean, like, yo, listen, man. NYC has been looking for that young next nigga to save the town since Pop Smoke got murdered in Los Angeles about 4 years ago. And K-Flock was next in line. K-Flock wasn't just one of those bubblegum mumble rap drill rappers. He actually had bars and he had real talent, but he couldn't stay the fuck out the way. His big homies, you know, Sticky the Plug and them, they didn't show him. I mean, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. The nigga 5 Guard, you know, out of all of the, you know, the big homies that K-Flock and all these little niggas was around, you know, I gotta give it to the nigga 5 Guard. He's the only nigga that has been able to, you know, stay out here, stay free, man. A lot of these niggas that's from, you know, that's 35 and up, you know, Sticky the Plug and all these niggas, they crashed out. You know what I'm saying? All they young boys, they crashed out, man. These niggas got football numbers, or they facing football numbers. And a lot of these niggas, bro, they not built like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? When these niggas gotta go in the can for the next 20 plus years, and you ain't in jail with no real guns. You know what I'm saying? So you forced to learn how you gotta fight. And if you don't know how to fight, you're not gonna know how to run a razor or scalpel across a nigga face neither. A lot of these niggas, a lot of these young drill rappers, they really don't know what they be signing up for, man, when it comes to the street life shit, man. Cause now when they get locked up, you know, Nate Benz and all them, when they get locked up, they gonna be getting dictated by somebody who's been doing years in the jail, got a team, got the drugs flowing in the jail, they situated, they could get you shot. You know what I'm saying? They could get a razor ran across your face, or they get you stabbed with a snap of a fucking finger, bro. But these are the situations that they find themselves in. Instead of staying in the studio, living in the studio, I mean literally living in the studio, trying to get their moms out the hood. You see with Nate Benz, she came home, she was getting a lot of motion out here. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people was comparing her, you know, to the next young MA. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, she's a dyke and all that, and, you know, she sound better than a lot of these male rappers. I'm gonna keep it a buck. You feel what I'm saying? You know, that was K-Flock's little homie. Now K-Flock, you know, K-Flock, I don't know what's going on with K-Flock's case, man. You know what I'm saying? But all I know is that this generation, Generation Z and Generation X, they're the most crash out generation of all time. I'm 38 years old. I know I'm an old head compared to these little niggas, but I keep my ears to the streets and I know what the fuck is going on, man. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't know, niggas in the comment section, my following, they definitely know. I'm not talking about y'all niggas is ratting, y'all talking no police shit. But, you know, I can't sit there and classify every nigga that's in the comment section that's commenting. I can't classify all of them as civilians because a lot of niggas, some niggas do be outside, you know what I'm saying, that be in these comment sections. You'd be surprised. But it's just sad to say that, you know, all the DOA members, they locked up. The sevside, all of them is affiliated with each other. The Slattery gang, all them DOA niggas, they all, like Slattery, the Slattery boys, they all fall under that whole DOA, sevside, the Ray. They all fall under that umbrella. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of them is locked up, they dead, or they fighting for their freedom. Like I said, man. You know, and it's just sad that, you know, the DA, you know, Darcel Clark, and she's a black woman. She's locking up all these kids. They all black. They all under the age of 25 years old. Like I said, this young girl, she's young. She don't look no older than 18 years old. All right, locked up 8 months. She's like 7 to 8 months pregnant. Right? She's due any moment, and now she got to give birth behind bars, man. You see, this comes from living in a dysfunctional household. The father not being around. You understand what I'm saying? They living in the household. They being raised by an ignorant mother. This is what happens, man. When you don't raise your kids right. You know, the penal system. You know, you lose your child to the penal system every single time, man. Now they locked up. You know, and Benz, she ain't never been on Rikers Island before. She been locked up on juvie. She been in juvie, you know what I'm saying, locked up, but she ain't never been to an adult prison. So this is gonna be a whole different ball game. Whole different ball game. Wasted talent. You know, like, and this is a lesson learned to a lot of you drill rappers, man. When you got the opportunity to get your moms out the hood, you got the opportunity to get your friends out the hood, don't crash out. You gotta watch what the fuck you put in your music, man. Because the feds is always watching, they always listening. Like I said, man, Benz, she was a smart female. Like, she actually spoke about on her interview, on the interview that she did on what, shout out to what NY sound like, right? I think that's the name of the podcast. She did an interview about 3-4 months ago, and she talked about how she passed her regents and all that. So this was not a dumb girl that we talking about here. This was a girl that, you know what I'm saying, she could have went to college. She could have did anything with her life, bro. But she chose to, you know, hang out with the wrong niggas. And unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, now, you know, her life is in the hands of the jury now. You feel what I'm saying? So now she's going to be judged by 12. And like I said, 9 times out of 10, a lot of these young niggas, a lot of these young females that's getting wrapped up in these indictments, they not sturdy, bro. They all telling on each other to come home, bro. But I want y'all to get in the comment section and let me know what y'all think about this shit, man. This shit is nasty work. All these young niggas is locked up before the end of the summer. And there's gonna be more indictments on the way, you know what I'm saying? And then the next generation, they gonna come outside and they gonna get wrapped up too. You know what I'm saying? This rap drill scene culture shit is washed up. They done locked up all the good talent. All the good talent is behind bars. I want y'all to get in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Don't forget to hit that like button, share, subscribe. I'm out.
Natasha, we had that firsthand look at how the NYPD is bringing alleged gang members who terrorized their own community to justice. And now the Bronx DA says they've been charged in a 176-count felony indictment.
Benz, police say you're a trigger puller. Police say you're a trigger puller. Is that true? What? Police say you're a trigger puller. Is that? We're here at a secret undercover location in the Bronx where NYPD detectives are getting ready to launch a manhunt for nearly 24 gang members wanted for serious felonies, including murder. It's a Lisa Evers exclusive. It's before dawn on Wednesday, but NYPD detectives from the Gun Violence Suppression Division, called GVSD for short, are joined by detectives from Bronx precincts and warrant squads for this important mission. Their mission? Stopping the reign of terror caused by teens, young men, and a few women who engage in running gun battles with their opposition or ops at all hours of the day and night, no matter who's in the way, right in their own community.
These cases are the single most impactful reason that shootings trend downwards.
The targets are 20 members of the Slattery gang based out of Slattery Playground in the Fordham section of the Bronx.
If you come around from 2 on, that's when it fills up with all the gangs.
Investigators say they're responsible for more than a dozen shootings and attempted murders.
It's almost like they were competing with each other to see who could shoot more times.
The Slattery crew, also known by other names like Slattery and S-Block, allegedly took aim at their main opponents or ops, other young people, for no good reason. Investigators say the hatred is fueled by inflammatory disses about murdered ops and drill raps posted on social media. That's aspiring drill rapper Benz, who police say is one of the gang leaders. The average age of the case subjects is 20. Teen girls are trigger pullers too, like the shooter in this video, says Deputy Inspector Craig Edelman.
They're shooting at each other with a yellow school bus filled with kids in between them.
Making the community safe again is their passion and purpose. For takedown leader, Detective Brandon Ravello, it's personal. This is where he grew up. A lot of the subjects are wanted for being active trigger pullers, so they're asking us to put on these bulletproof vests before we go out to the locations once the manhunt gets underway. We're on the highway now as part of the caravan going to the first destination. These detectives know exactly who they are looking for because all of the subjects in this case have been pre-indicted by a Bronx grand jury. Officers go into the building, every detail and movement planned in advance. Right now, the detectives are inside the building, going into the apartment where they have a search warrant to apprehend the suspect. Sergeant Christopher Neal is in constant communication with team members, making sure everyone gets in and out safely.
In recent history, we've seen that impact takedowns or takedowns of this magnitude have a profound impact on the community.
What's going on here?
I love you, babe!
A female suspect who's 8 months pregnant is brought out in handcuffs from an apartment. What's going on? Why did they pick you up?
We are here executing a search warrant on Table Avenue in the Bronx in regards to a drive-by shooting that happened in a public school playground.
Bronx District Attorney Darcel Clark announced a 176-count conspiracy indictment against the alleged gang members for everything from attempted murder to robbery and weapons possession. More than a dozen guns were recovered, including some from the takedown.
We're going to stay at this no matter what, no matter how long it takes. We are laser focused on making sure that we keep the public safe.
They are absolutely firing bullets without remorse or regret and without regard of anybody that's around.
This is one of the most violent crews that I've seen. You made our streets, our communities into a battlefield, and there's no excuse for that.
The team members believe their efforts are a step forward in making people feel safe again.
Today, I think, is a victory for the community. Anytime you have a gang that claims a territory inside of a park where children play, it has all the potential for tragedy.
So you're not a trigger puller?
No, I don't pull no triggers!
Now, as bad as it looks, all the defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty. Keep in mind that everyone accused in this case is under the age of 25. Many of them are just 20 years old or less. And the defendants are found guilty of these crimes. If that happens, they could spend more than a decade, sometimes 2 decades, behind bars. That's the latest. Back to you guys.
Yeah, fascinating glimpse into how it all works. Thanks, Lise. All right.